Hello, everyone. Welcome once again to the Lorcana Cookout. We are here. We are back. We are a little bit jet lagged. We're a little bit tired, and we are here to give you everything that happened at pretty much Milwaukee, the first DLC in NA. Some great stuff, some good stuff, some bad stuff, some ugly stuff, a little bit of everything. So I can't wait to share with you guys and call this a little celebration cookout. So go ahead, sit down, grab some soda, grab some tacos al pastor, and enjoy. This is the Lorcana Cookout.
Yo guys, so we're back. Um, we just got back, majority of us. Unfortunately, we couldn't take Eddie with us. He keeps getting too old by Eventbrite, unfortunately. So, I feel like he's gonna get this one though. He's gonna mold blind and he's gonna tool Eventbrite for Richmond. I feel it. I feel it. But we just got back. Honestly, for me, it was terrible. I'm exhausted. I got back at 1 in the morning because we're 2 hours ahead. So technically, we got back at 3 in the morning, and I had to wake up at 6:30 in the morning. So I slept like 3 hours, and I was dying at work. So that was terrible. But honestly, lots of fun. But we'll get into that a little bit later. So let's jump straight into it. Let's go ahead and talk about the DLC meta. So let me pull this up, zoom in a little bit. Hopefully you guys could see it good enough right there for the viewers. So not that much of a surprise, but Blurple was 29.94% of the meta for day one. I believe it dropped down like 6%. I think it was at 36 in Bologna. So it did go down as expected. I think it dropped down more than I expected myself a little bit. Thought it was going to end up like around 32%. And then pretty big, coming close second, was Purple Steel at 24%, which was as expected. Everybody was planning to take. I mean, it was pretty much defined, right? And this just solidified it even more. But it was pretty 100% that Blurple was the best deck. So Purple Steel was gonna prey on the decks that were gonna come to beat Blurple. So that's like Amber Steel, Emerald Sapphire, and well, mainly Amber Steel and Dogs, but Emerald Sapphire is in there too. Which, from what I heard, Purple Steel, it's like still a 50-50 matchup. Like according to Thiago, like all the Purple Steel players say they're unfavored, and then all the blue green bleen players say they're unfavored. So it's kind of like they can't make up their mind. And then right after that is Amber Steel at 15%, and then Emerald Sapphire at 10, and then Dogs at 6%. Everything else is kind of irrelevant, even though Hector's favorite color is right there at 4%. So, what do we think about this breakdown, guys? We'll go ahead with Carlos if you want to start talk about it.
Yeah, so I mean, obviously it was to be expected that Blurple was going to be the most represented deck. But personally, I thought there was going to be a lot more Amber Steel than there was. Um, I thought it was definitely going to be a lot closer to Purple Steel, if not maybe a little more, just because it usually just auto beats Blurple. Um, but yeah, I mean, everything else seems pretty straightforward. Definitely how you were saying about the Emerald Sapphire matchup with Purple Steel. Personally, I never felt unfavored to it. Um, I did get to play against it once during the DLC and 2-0'd it. Um, and like they under seed me for like 7 characters. So like I ended up winning that matchup, and like I said, it just felt very easy. But yeah. Other than that, yeah, like I think these numbers are pretty much like what everyone expected. From what I heard, everyone was thinking that Purple Steel was definitely gonna be a lot more than Amber Steel, and I just thought Amber Steel was gonna be represented a little more, but definitely Purple is gonna be the most represented. But yeah, I mean, whoever's next can go on.
Go ahead, Eddie.
Okay, cool. Yeah. I know we talked about our prediction in the last episode, and I think we were pretty spot on with what we expected as far as the representation being on the popular end, with Blurple being the most and Purple Cell being the second. I actually was surprised how close Purple Cell got to Blurple. Like it wasn't that far off, and no, definitely huge difference from Bologna as far as those numbers. Purple came down obviously, but it came down to below 30, and definitely where we kind of expected to maybe fall to like 31 or 32. And then purple still was a lot. Like there really was a lot of purple still in the room. And Amber still stayed about the same, 15%, just solid, consistent. And I, and knowing there was a lot of purple still, that probably scared some Amber still players for sure. And I think what surprised me the most actually is Sapphire Steel being at 4%. And I know that's something that when we were talking about our outliers, we kind of called it where like Blue Steel probably has the most potential to kind of show up last second, be like a meta breaker the way Sapphire Steel kind of always is a meta breaker at the end of the set. And yeah, I'm really surprised 78 people took it. I know it even topped. Like there was a Blue Steel player that made top 32, so it definitely converted too. And yeah, I mean, the only other thing that kind of surprises me is red purple. There was actually 2% of the field was red purple, and that's something we didn't even talk about in our outliers. Like that's an outlier of the outliers, and it was cool. Like I really like the diverse representation, a lot more diverse than Bologna for set nine, and yeah, I mean, like the meta seemed pretty balanced as far as like creativity goes, and then what we expected to be powerful definitely kind of represented itself and performed in the event that mattered the most here in NA. So it was pretty cool. Like I really, from the outside in, I definitely appreciated the creativity this set because some people were really taking spicy decks and some spicy versions and spicy ratios. I know we'll probably talk more about that if you mention lists, but yeah, it was pretty cool representation.
Yeah, so that RA was actually pretty cool. I know James faced one, and then he was talking about how hard it was, and I didn't fully believe him. I didn't get much testing against it. I think I only played a Caesar a few games, 2 weeks before. Oh, which by the way, guys, I'm so sorry James couldn't make it. He really wished he could have been here with us today, but he just it's sad. But he says hi to all of you guys, and he wishes he could be here. Anyway, he faced the RA, and I was like, it's a tough matchup, trust me. So he ended up having that loss, and then I ended up facing two of them. Now I did 2-0 both, but all 4 games could have gone either way. Like there were like all four. It could have like I could have been 4-0. Like it's crazy. They were really close. It took me a while to realize that you just cannot use Into the Unknown or Hades on them until like late game, because then they're playing Blurple too, but with better cards. That's literally how it felt. I'm like, So I literally like I would. It was like so tempting. It'd be like Dumbo Exerted or turn 4 or 5, and I'm like, nope, I'm gonna lose. Like I'm gonna like I literally let him rather resolve Dumble like once for one more turn than Into the Unknown him because I know it was gonna be rough, and it worked out. But like that deck is pretty real. The Blue Steel, honestly, I was seeing a lot of world class players were on it. A lot of some recognizable, notable faces were on that deck. So I thought it was pretty cool that that kind of deck got taken a little bit more seriously, or with potential to possibly make top cut, right? Which I can see it because good purple steel matchup, the way it was built, good purple matchup. The thing was, I think they expected to have more dogs because it also has a good dog matchup, but it doesn't have a good Amber Steel aggro matchup. So that's probably where the little miss call went, where the Blue Steels were taking the losses from the Amber Steels. With that being said, dogs was 6%. That's wild. That to me was the biggest one that kind of shocked me the most. I understand that it's a really hard deck to pilot, but I really thought some of the maybe the pro players that believe in the deck or believe in like their skill were gonna jump into that deck or purple steel. So I honestly at least expected like a 11%, 12% of dogs. Not what was it, 6%? I expected double the dogs numbers. Let's go with that. Um, and then yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say about the numbers. Blurple was obviously, I don't know. I don't know about like tier zero-ish format. We were talking about that, but I think it's conversion rate to day two. If when Caesar talks about it in a bit, that's when it kind of the numbers of tier zero format maybe can relate, right? But I'll let him do that.
Yeah, so that's exactly what I was gonna say. So day two, 275 players, 40% of Blurple is what was represented in day two, with 19% purple steel, 12% amber steel, 9% emerald sapphire, and then 8% basically dogs right. Uh, I'll just include sapphire steel just because, but it converted well as at 4%. But I do have a problem with this, and the main reason for it is because 30% of Blurple, most represented deck, not by a large margin, 4% of Purple Steel, which I was shocked. But I'm not saying Purple Steel wasn't targeted, but for sure Blurple was targeted. So Blurple being the targeted deck, most represented deck, and then the most converting deck is where the concerning numbers are at. Because you could say like, oh, Amethyst Steel, 24%. I were to hope that they were to do good. Yeah, their worst matchup is Blurple, but they're also not being targeted by all these decks. Like every deck, you had to be like, can I beat Blurple? If not, I shouldn't take this deck. Basically, is how it should have went down, right? If you decided your matchup, because even the Amethyst Steels, it feels really bad, but they can win, and it showed it. Frank Carson, right on the play, took down a Blurple. So it's kind of like if you win the die roll and you know what to do in the matchup, you can still beat it. But that's my concerning part is that Amethyst Steel was building for Blurple. Blurple was kind of ignoring Amethyst Steel and building for its worst matchup, which are the matchups that are targeting it. And that's where I would say that's what makes it like a tier zero deck in a sense. Most represented deck, converted good to day two, and it's the most targeted deck, and it still performed really, really good. That's where I'm like, okay, that's crazy. But I don't think the deck like is the most broken deck in history because, I mean, this meta was super boring and stale in my opinion. But number wise in this current meta, like it does feel like it is the most broken deck in history because like with the other card pool around it, is just way better. In a sense, like obviously the deck wasn't doing broken stuff like red, blue, and green steel, but in this meta it was doing broken stuff because all the other cards sucked basically. So, like all the other card quality in every other deck wasn't as good as Blurple. But yeah, I mean I took it. The deck is good. I mean I took it for that reason because I felt like no matter what I sat across from, I was like I wasn't just like all right I just auto lost. Like I always felt like no matter what deck I sat across from, I was like I can win, especially if I'm on the play. So, but we'll go ahead with Carlos and see what you think.
Uh, no, I'm with you on it. Definitely agree where like purple is definitely like the best deck. Um, I mean it clearly shows in the representation in itself and the fact that still, it took up so much of just day one, but even day two, double the amount of amethyst steel that like, made day two. The other one I was noticing that actually had a really good conversion rate was dogs. Basically like 30% of it made day two, which I think is really good as well. Um, but yeah, I mean, I took purple steel just because that's the deck I'm used to. That's the deck I've been playing for like ever. Um, so me not switching to like purple kind of, I felt good to not make that switch in a sense. And it never felt hopeless going against it. I always felt like I have a chance, especially on the play. As long as I see my one drop two, if I see curve, like I feel like I can win that game. Um, so yeah, I mean, but it was always difficult on the draw, but even then, like I was able to take one of those rounds on the draw against purple. Um, whether I got lucky or not, I mean, it is what it is. But yeah, I think I was just able to play my cards correctly, and then that's how I just took that match. Um, but yeah, regardless, yeah, like the day two numbers kind of just show how powerful that deck can be just by how many really made it all the way there. Um, but yeah, I mean, shout out Frank Carson for winning with Purple Steel. It's been my favorite deck for so long, so love to see that. Uh, but yeah, Eddie, what you got?
Yeah, like I mean I think the numbers speak for themselves, right? Like Caesar was saying. Uh like I feel like the way I see it is Blurple kind of got hit the least with rotation. So it kind of kept its best cards, from the previous like format. And therefore card quality was just kind of, like card for card the best. And I think that was like undeniable going into Milwaukee, and it kind of just proved itself even more in Milwaukee, right? Of it just being card quality, strongest deck, strongest potentials to kind of win on the play and on the draw. Um, and obviously, it does have a tough matchup to Ember Steel and like some aggro aggro decks, but I guess the other thing that really kind of sort of sticks out to me is Blue Steel 12 like 4% out of like what four like it was like 4% population and then 4% conversion. That's pretty impressive. I was really surprised how much Blue Steel converted into day 2 for being like an outlier deck. And that's something I wish we had more time to explore, right? I wish we had like another week in this meta to see what else would unfold now that we have like potentially Blue Steel being like an A tier deck like in the meta. Um, Personally, I would have probably have taken Amber still because I just felt like this just really strong deck, and who knows what would have happened, but obviously Amber still did perform really well into making day 2 also. Yeah, yeah. It's been an interesting meta. Like I do feel like it was pretty balanced overall, and unfortunately, top decks and going on the play mattered more in this meta than before. But yeah, I think that's what they had to do to kind of rebuild the game. So I think it's only gonna go up from here. Go ahead, Hector.
Weirdly enough, I did feel. I know some maybe I don't think Caesar possibly agrees with this, but I did feel by the end of the tournament or by the way the meta shaped up that it did just feel paper rock scissors. It started feeling better. It did. I know the Blurple numbers were ridiculous, but when Amber Steel and Dogs kind of put forces together, Blurple never wanted to face those. Blurple was the one that's scared, right? So that's the tier 0 deck being scared. And then when you combine their percentages, they're like 30%, right, together. And then for day 2 for Top Cut, it was ridiculous. Technically for Top Cut, the scissors, if we want to call that, whatever Amber Steel and Dogs is, that won in Top Cut. If you because those are the ones that align to be blurple, right? So if we're doing when we're talking about paper rock scissors format, it was a purple, steel, blue, green, blurple, and then green dogs and amber steel. Amber steel and dogs won this event if you go by if we think about it that way, and then purple steel won the actual event. But I think again, what we said, the numbers going into day 2 when you just play the deck for 12 rounds was probably going to take you there. It's gonna be blurple. So I think for sure, like going into day 2, you got all the blurples. But I will say this: my last 4 rounds in day 2, it was 3 blurple, and I noticed. Okay, I don't want to be like kind of like how do I say that? I don't want to mean like in a mean way or something, but you didn't. I noticed the difference from my current testing group and started seeing differences of playing these other players. Again, I don't want to take anything away from them, but maybe they had less testing. Maybe they do have the same amount of skill. But they had less testing or less interactions. Um, I would go first. I would ink a card, a blue card or a purple card, right, and play base or develop. And then they would go ink play Rafiki. I was so confused. There was a lot of things I was just like, what's happening? Like, why do you play Fiki? Like, I just inked a purple and played develop on turn 1. What's happening? But it's a lot of little stuff like that where I think I definitely with a good testing group, you start taking advantage of certain things, which surround yourself with what you want to be, which we say. As far as the meta goes, I think also Blurple, the reason it had that much numbers in day two is because dogs, it was only 6%. I wonder if there a world where if dogs goes 12%, is there a world where Blurple decreases from 40? I'm pretty sure, yeah. Right. So I honestly, at the end of the format, I literally honestly felt like paper, rock, scissors. But to get to the day two and to get to Top Cut, I do feel like Blurple is favored to get there, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, to piggyback on that, I feel like if you wanted to top, the correct answers decks to take was Blurple and Amber Steel. I feel like if you wanted to win the event, it would have been like Dogs, Amethyst Steel, or Blurple. I don't feel like Amber Steel would have won with how much representation there was of Amethyst Steel in the meta. That's just my opinion. But I guess the same thing could be said about Dogs. No, because Dogs beats. I guess it also loses to Amethyst Steel. So yeah. Yeah, I feel like if you wanted to just top Amber Steel and Blurple was the call. If you wanted to win the event, it was like Blurple and Amethyst Steel. I don't see Amber Steel winning that event in my opinion. But
Which shout out Zan. I don't know if you guys saw, but his build was literally he's like my worst matchup is Purple Steel. I'm favored into Blurple. I'm favored into Amber Steel. What can I do? I don't know if you guys saw the podcast. What can I do to make the Purple Steel matchup better? And he literally fixed it, which makes sense playing the Chromicon with the draw. But he played four of that card, which is not a four of it never. And like you haven't seen it. Which is the one that every time your character is managed, draw a card. I don't know
what
the
is it?
tramp.
Oh yeah,
The is it
yeah, the trap.
Yeah,
the one that
tramp,
draw a
the
card?
shift tramp. Yeah.
Yeah, so he's like, if I have a Chromicon and I draw a card, I'm just outvaluing Purple Steel. That doesn't matter. Like, you know what I mean? He's like, I only have to worry about literally only Calhoun. Like, unless they go triple Calhoun on me, like I'm fine. So
Yeah,
that was pretty cool. And he did well. He did X2. Sadly, the bubble. We'll talk about
yeah, we'll
that
talk about it.
bubble. I don't know what's next, but yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, that is good. So let's go into whoops. Let's go into the pie chart. So top 32. Like Hector said, we did have Amber Steel aggro in here, and then at 9, which is 28%. 8 Blurples 25%. 7 Purple Steels 22%. 16% dogs, 5 of them. Then we had 1 Bleen, 1 Blue Steel, and 1 Green Steel. So it's just kind of where I go on my rant a little bit, and I don't want to take away anyone's top. It still takes a lot of skill to do it, but like the I feel like Amber Steel was a really good call to get that top because there's just so many, in my opinion, non games where you just win. Like if you just have this hand, you just win. I feel like pretty much against all decks, even against Purple Steel, like your worst matchup, if you just have this specific line, like you just win that matchup. I guess the same could be said for Blurple, but I feel like um, I feel like that line is only really said for like the Purple Steel matchup because I feel like even if I have the very specific hand to beat Amber Steel, like if they just have their specific hand, like you just kind of like giga lose, which is like cannon your 1 drop, strength your 4 drop, and then like still have Tiana and then Doc, like you just lose. So I feel like that deck just with so many of the non games that you have, and then Blurple being so represented, like it's why it got so many top cut representation, and why I'm not as surprised about the dogs. And it's kind of like what Zan said. Shout out to them. Is like it's not gonna those players, the dogs players are not gonna really take away from like the Blurple pie, and I don't really see them taking away from the Purple Steel pie. So the only pie they would really take from is the Amber Steel aggro pie. And at that point, why would you play dogs over Amber Steel when Amber Steel has like that more high roll potential? I don't know if you got that.
Wait, before I forget, sorry, I interrupt, but technically speaking, it wouldn't the representation wouldn't be taken away from Blurple. But if there's more dogs that made into that conversion, naturally there'd be less Blurple in the pie chart, no?
Yeah, but what I'm getting at is like it would kind of end up balancing out still because the dogs players. It's kind of like I don't know if you saw the podcast is at. The Dogs players aren't coming from Blurple or Purple Steel; they're coming from Amber Steel. So even if Amber Steel converts into Dogs, like it will end up kind of balancing out. I do think the Dogs matchup is worse, so I guess that's what you're saying. Like Dogs feels more of a auto loss than Amber Steel.
I feel like we used to say that, but I this is where I slightly disagree. And this is because Dogs is a different deck. We've this is the
Yeah,
first time
hundred
this
percent.
is not in typical. So I actually see a lot of purple steel players going for Dogs as the call. Some blurple players that are like comboish and just want to win the event. They want to play the best deck. So going to Dogs.
Yeah, but we're not.
I actually saw a lot of Amber Steel players try Dogs. We're talking about local section.
Yeah,
I know you guys have these stories. And then the next week, what? They were right back on Amber Steel because they could just not
yeah,
pilot the dog deck, right?
yeah,
So I don't know.
yeah. That's another reason why, because it's a harder deck to pilot. But we're not talking about like the normal people. We're talking. I mean, we're not talking about the pro player, like absolute top tier players, because they're always gonna take what they think is gonna beat the. I mean, win the tournament, right? Like you even saw Zach Bivens on Dogs, and then after he played Dogs, even if he thinks that deck was gonna win the tournament, he's like, I'm not playing. Like I'd rather just not go to the DLC if I'm playing Dogs again. So we're not talking about them. We're talking about like even Sailor, like he played Dogs both tournaments. Like I'm surprised he took Dogs, but you know he's a world class competitor. He's gonna want to win. He's gonna take what he thinks gives him the best chance to win. We're talking about more, like good players that are just like you know what I'm just gonna take best deck. You know why risk it? Like just take best deck. So yeah, I don't know, but interesting conversion. I mean, I feel like as expected, right? Like Blurple, big chart, Purple Steel, big chart eating was trying to attack Blurple, and then all the decks that are attacking Blurple, right? So yeah. Any comments on this?
Nah, I'm all good. Honestly, like this is kind of what what would have been expected after the A2, that this is top 32, like uh performance wise for these decks. Um, yeah, I'm good on this. I feel like it's pretty much self-explanatory.
To me, it's literally paper, rock, scissors, and three other decks. That's what ended up happening. Like because dogs and amber steel are the one, and it's like literally. Oh, and then the green blue gets added into the purple steel, like because they're supposed to join that for the paper or whatever you want to call it. It's funny. And then so it was like literally remember Eddie what we talked about in the video, the two outliers. Is literally the paper rock scissors pie happened, and then two outliers, which is the blue steel and then green steel, which we
Yeah.
said out of the two out of the three decks with the decks that have the chance and purple green we just knew it just sucked into everything else, dude. I'm gonna be honest, like purple green kind of sucked into everything else but
Yeah,
purple.
purple
So
green like totally
yeah,
disappeared. It was
yeah.
like a one hit wonder in Bologna, and yeah, faded.
I
Got
think
replaced by blue steel.
yeah, I think it goes back to like deck not being known. I feel like even as a Blurple player, like don't get me wrong, that matchup is really rough, but then it goes back to like who Brock. Brock took Ink Geyser Blue Green, which kills like Blurple too.
Mm-hmm.
But once again, once you start facing these top level players, they're not just gonna see this deck and be like, "Oh, I lost." They're gonna be like, "All right, what? What is he doing? What can I do?" And even Brock said he's like, "Dude, I noticed how this Blurple player, he just started inking his good cards. Like normal players wouldn't do that. They'll still ink their bad cards. He's like, how do I get value out of this Ink Geyser? Well, let me put my Dumble in there. Let me put my Elsa in there. So when he Ink Geysers me, I'm gonna get them back. You know. So like once it goes back to like that green purple deck, like once you start facing like top tier players, like they will find your game plan and they will find a way to beat that game plan, and that's when that deck starts breaking apart. Still favored, but it's just like good players will find a way to work around and still beat that deck. And then, like Hector said, it was just terrible against anything else. So once you start dropping your Blurple decks, which should be like 100% win rate, once you start dropping those matches too, it's just like why even play that deck? So, so yeah, let's move on to I think let me see. Give me 1 second.
And speaking of the pie chart too, while you're changing, what are you going to the next slide? Um, Obviously not to discredit, like a shout out that there was two. I would say there was two Cinderella stories, right? Two miracle runs that everyone was cheering for in top 32. It was Monica, and it was Aiden, right? They were both on Amber Steel aggro, right? So that was a deck that it allowed people to do that. Which I used to be like, oh, you're on Amber Steel aggro, blah blah, like you're just so easy and that. That I learned to respect that in of itself is a strategy. I chose to play this hyper aggro. Guess what? You're allowed to play it too. Oh, but you're losing with it because you don't want to lose the control mid range. Well, I'm choosing that. I'm okay with that. Like it's at the end of the day, I do still give it some type of high value respect, as in like that's a strategy that you chose to go with, and if you know that that's gonna work for you and that's gonna have you the most success, then go for it. And that literally allowed Aiden and Monica to go as far as they did. And it's not even like it's Monica. I played her. She beat me in game three, and then she said like I thought I was gonna go X3, drop the tournament. Child, she was going for her Milan. Right? I don't think Aiden expected to get his golden Mickey of beating DKP on the draw. Amber Steel aggro allows you to do that. So that is fair that they chose that deck and it worked out for them.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. Like I talk a lot of smack about the deck, or I mean the aggro, um, play style in general, just because I don't like it. I mean, I as a player hate to, and I feel like a majority of aggro decks end up that way. But I hate playing off the top or like no hand. I say it all the time to you guys and like people that know me. Like when I'm at like a 2 card hand, I start stressing out. I'm like, bro, what the like? This is I don't like this. I don't like this feeling. Like I like having 4 or 5 card hands. Like I like having a bunch of options. Like that's my play style. So I just don't like the aggro decks. And then the main thing that I do not like about the aggro decks, this is like my main thing, is like the percentage of non games that the deck allows you to have. That's what bugs me the most. But I still think it takes a lot of skill. Like I mean, I see, Karan play it, Adam play it, like Ethan play it. He picked it up too. Like I can see that they're putting skill and think about it really hard, and even other people I played, like it does take skill. It's just like my argument to it is always like the amount of non games that it creates is what bugs me. But I feel like that hit even harder this meta because I don't know. I feel like there's a lot of problems in this meta. I still enjoyed it, but I just for me, I feel like it was even worse than set one, in my opinion. Like I'd rather have played set one again than this meta. But that's just me. So, but moving on, we'll talk about our DLC experience. So we'll start with Eddie. How'd it go? How'd you get tooled by Eventbrite?
Yeah, my story started in it real quick. Yeah, Eventbrite, man. For some reason they tried something else, and that was even worse than Eventbrite. So now it's all Eventbrite, and here we go, Virginia Richmond. I'm looking forward to that next DLC. It's my next chance to maybe get to a DLC, but until then, we're grinding CCQs like at least once or twice a month.
Yeah,
So yeah, tell me about Milwaukee, guys. I
yeah.
definitely am curious to hear all about it.
Hopefully you get in. Hopefully we all get in. Hopefully we get a cookout DLC again. Those are always fun. But I guess I'll go next because I feel like I think me and Carlos were both out at the same time or the same round. But I'll go ahead and start. So I was locked in. For the first time ever, I feel like I knew what I was playing like a week in advance. So I decided I was gonna play purple. I was trying a Kita build, um, but I don't think it was testing that bad either. But I was just like whatever. Let's just go with what my teammates were playing, and not their exact list too. I think me and Hector ended up more on an exact list than me and Dre. But I was like, you know what? They've obviously been playing it all set because I always, even if I'm like locked in on a deck, I get bored and I'll start playing like some BS for a while. Like I picked up Amethyst Ruby for a bit. Um, so I switched to the Iago version, and then I gave basically because I think Hector, when I first got to when we first got to Milwaukee, I think you were like 5 or 6 cards off of mine and Dre's list, and I think from the moment I switched my deck from the Kita, I think I was like 4 cards probably off of Dre's list. Um, so then we played. I think I took the game on you with the Kita build, and then I still just switched. I was like, let's just test the Yago version again, and it just felt really good. Like I was just feeling really good playing against everyone there, and I don't know at what point you just asked me on my list too, and that's when we changed your ratios to basically, I think we ended up one card difference, if I recall correctly from our list, right? So I played that. It felt really good. There was nothing that was gonna take me off that deck, to be honest. Um, and I had a pretty good start, honestly. I round one faced up mirror. Um, I went 2-1. Um, I think I won the die roll, and then game round two I lost the die roll, and I also went 2-1. There's just things that happened game two that I feel like there's not really anything I could control to just get the 2-0. Actually, I think on round one there was, but whatever. I know round two for sure there was something I couldn't do to get that. I was feeling really good because even going second, because like I lost the die roll, so technically I should have lost round two or whatever, but it still felt really good. I feel like I skill gapped and got it. Round three, I feel like messed up my whole tournament. I don't know what it was, but I was telling myself and I was telling my teammates there, and I was telling James that we're getting him to get on Blurple. I was telling him, you gotta just respect the aggro. Like if you're going blind, like you gotta play the one drop, and I did not do that. And I feel like that alone messed up my whole tournament because I had the hand to beat the Amber Steel aggro player, and I developed over playing my Basil. I don't know why. And then as soon as he showed Aurora, I'm like, I freaking lost. So I took him to game three, and I did lose. And obviously, I'm like, all right, whatever. I'll bounce back. Next round, play another Amber Steel aggro. I'm like, oh my lord. I think I lost the die round that one, and I told that one. I was like, cool. Surely I'm done, right? Next round, another Amber Steel aggro. I'm like, dude, come on, give me a break. Um, Game one, I think I lost the die roll. No, I think I won the die. Yeah, I won the die roll. I beat him. Pretty dominant win. Game two, I missed ramp. Lost my fastest game ever. He went triple daisy, lady Nala, lady penny. I lost in a minute. And then game three, he went like the curve and he had the strength to out. He had to lady dock. He had to lady cheat out dock, find the strength to out my. I think I had a Yaga out, and that just kind of blew out the game. I don't know exactly what happened, but I still almost came back, almost took control of the board. And he was just top decking like crazy. Like he top decked the Rhino, which is kind of hard for my deck to out. Like I literally had to like Hades or I think Into the Unknown it. Then right after he quested with the Rhino and top decked that, he top decked the Pluto. Still after clawing my way, get control of the board, see the second star. I'm like, all right, I'm chilling. And he top decks a dock. I'm like, dude, just give me a break. Ended up losing that. I'm X2. Next game, next turn or round, I face another blur ball. I'm like, finally. I get too old. I don't know if it was like already kind of triggered from facing 3 Amber Steel aggros in a row, but lost the die roll, beat me round one, and then round two, I sang my second star. When I was already in a bad position, I made it in a point where he couldn't answer my board to sing second star. I sung it, and it was like probably one of the worst second stars I've seen. So after that, I didn't want to scoop because obviously like I was still in it technically. Pretty sure I would have bubbled out, but just played out a little bit, and yeah, ended up losing. And yeah, that was the end of my run for that day. Sucked. Honestly, I felt really good. I did feel like I would have topped if I guess if I didn't mess up my round three by inking that by not playing that one drop, or if I didn't see 3 Amber Steel aggros that early. I was talking to a bunch of people, other Blurple players, and my conclusion was from talking to all of them is once you first faced your third Amber Steel aggro as a Blurple player, that's where your tournament ended. Like Dre, once he faced his third one, he was out. I think his actual name is Jonathan from the Goons. Blue Jam is his like IGN. Once he faced his third Amber Steel aggro, he lost. I don't want to take away Hector's, but once he faced his third Amber Steel aggro, that's when he was out of the tournament. So, yeah, it's just kind of like we could take one or two from them, but like after a while, you just kind of lose that deck, right? So it is what it is. But yeah, go ahead, Carlos.
Well, to go off of what you were saying, I didn't face Ember Steel aggro at all. So playing Purple Steel doesn't feel that great because I did want to see those. But yeah, I ended up same record as you, 3-3. Uh, let's see, round one, I get 2-0'd by Blorple. Like, I lost die roll, so he takes game one. Game two, I get to 19 lore, and I couldn't get that last lore. So yeah.
You couldn't find that top deck
Uh,
doc? That's crazy.
uh-uh. No, I'm not that good, bro. Can't be. Um, game two or round two, I play against Blue Steel, but it was like a support ally build. I assume it was just to like get Alice and like win game with it, but I was just clearing their things with like strengths and cannons, and yeah, so I just 2-0'd it. Then I think I faced Purple Steel, and I win die roll. I brick game one, like 5 uninkables, 2 inkable in hand. I have to ink whatever's in there so that I can at least keep playing, and then I lose. Game two, I smoke them. It was like literally 20 to like 4 lower. It was bad. Game three, he sees like 3 strengths and 2 dogs, and I see like 1 dog, 1 strength, so lose that game. Uh, After that, I end up going up against I think another purple steel, and I win that one. I'm pretty sure I won that roll, but we still went to game three. And then I go against blue green and 2-0'd it after getting like under the sea for like 7, and I just have like 3 characters left on board and like 2 cards in hand. But I just play my hand out, and I'm top decking at some point. I top deck a Yzma, then another Yzma, and then yeah, like I just overtake him. So yeah, it was I felt bad because he was also top decking. He was top decking like Basil or like Tipo, like stuff like that. Um, but yeah, I ended up towing that one, and then the last one I think it was another purple steel where like this dude rolls a 4, I roll Snake Eyes. Like, so lose die roll, takes game one, game two, brick again. Literally like 5 uninkables, 2 ink. I'm like, dude, what is going on with this deck? I'm playing 13 uninkables. So yeah, so I lose that one. I get to owed, and then I'm like, I sit back down. Caesar comes up, or like I don't know if I see you there already, and we're just like, all right, let's go back to the Airbnb.
Yeah, I was definitely there already. I feel like after round two, I was just at the table first every time because I was playing Amber Steel aggro, so our games either went one way or the other. Like I was done by the 30-minute mark. Like I either beat them or I got beat. So, and then that blurple, like I said, I just got clapped. So, it is what it is.
Yeah, yeah. Like I remember, like I get to the table, we're like, all right, we're gonna drop, get a Milan. Then we see the line, and I'm like, let's go back, dude. Let's just go to the Airbnb. Um, but yeah, honestly though, like I mean, it was fun to play. Uh, Definitely probably need to test some more because I know I probably only played for like a month before the DLC, and it wasn't even like every day. It was just maybe like 2 or 3 times a week. So yeah, but the deck still felt good. I think it was just more about maybe fixing the ratios or anything like that. Um, but yeah, and then just and after that, that was just day one. Day two, season 9 did like 3v3s. So that was fun, but we still got clapped up. So yeah. Uh, anyway, I'll let Hector take it from here.
So yeah, mine kind of sucked because I was signed up to play 2 3v3s, and I didn't get to play Blue Steel. I signed up. Well, Adam signed me up for 2 3v3s, but I guess it's all right because I was too busy playing the main event still. But I didn't get to play like 2 3v3s that I was signed up for, and I was so ready to play Blue Steel. But yeah, my tournament run was started out pretty great. I faced Amber Steel aggro round one, and my what is it called? My elephant I win the die roll because I prepared my deck to be Amber Steel, but I still have to win the die roll. So I elephant puts in so much work. I'm telling you guys, like I literally single-handedly elephant was just the reason I won game one. That game two, I go one drop. He goes, well, he goes first, right? He goes one drop. I'm like, one drop. He goes, one drop, cannons. I'm like, Tipo, like I'm getting this elephant again. And then he's like, then he gets to his turn, he's like, You could tell he's like, oh, I'm not gonna lose to Elephant again. He goes, Ink, hard cast strength, Quest was still my daisies or whatever. It was a daisy, and I think another one. I don't remember what it was. I think it was a 1-drop Rhino or something. Then I'm like, okay. He has 2 cards left in his hand. He used the cannons and strength. I'm like, Ink, play Yago, go. And then he's like, he could not. As you guys know, I was on 3 Ursula, so I usually more likely have. I'm gonna exert on the next turn. So he didn't have it for that turn. I think I had the Ursula exert. I don't know if it was a third copy or not, but I always like to think it's a third copy. I exert it, and then it goes off from there. I 2-0 Amber Steel aggro. That was pretty cool. And then I go on a run. I'm not gonna go a specific every matchup, but then I start winning a mirror, and then I beat Blue Steel, and then I think I beat a Blue Green, and then I'm 4-0. It's starting to feel like Vegas all over again. I'm like, okay, this is the route that I need to do to top. It's 4 more rounds. I only gotta win 2 more, and then I lose. It's 3 more rounds. I only gotta win 2 more, and then I lose. So all of a sudden, I'm put in this position, going from 4-0 to 4-2, and then I'm like, all right, well, like here it is. I have to go 100%. I faced 2 Ruby Amethyst in a row. Again, very close games, but I'm glad that, and they were up there. Obviously, they're doing pretty good, right? Like, you know, I think I just from testing a little bit or just kind of talking to James and just kind of, I mean, I played already myself, but it worked out. I win those 2. So I'm 2-0. I go to day 2. Out of my 4 of them, I go against 3 Blurples. I go against a Ben and Ryder build, kind of the OG. But and then I go against a pretty stock standard Blurple and then another stock standard. And he lets me, I had 2 5-drops and a 4-drop, and he removes the 4-drop. Because it was like I think it was a Dumbo or something. And I'm like, okay, sing second star. And then he's like 2 cards in hand, and then he like plays like a Finders or something, I think. And then I'm like, sing second star again. And then he's like, he scoops it up. He's like, yep. I messed up. I let you sing second star. I'm like, yeah. So then I faced Thiago round 11. That was pretty cool. I try not to fanboy so much. I respect him a lot as a player, but I'm like, I need to sit down and try to look a little bit intimidating here. So I try to sit down, act like I don't know him at all. Like I don't know who he is. And he's kind of looking at me and he's like trying to be like, because Thiago's a very friendly person. I try to be like, oh, hopefully I wasn't an a-hole. But I was just trying to like be serious and be like down. Didn't say nothing, whatever. I win game 1, and then I'm shuffling. I'm like, I'm a big fan of the podcast, by the way. And then he kind of finally does his like first chuckle smile, and he's like, you appreciate it. And then he like destroys me game 2, and then we go to game 3, and he's like, hopefully one of us gets to play this game because I destroyed him, he destroyed me, so we never really either got to play a game. He's like, hopefully we get to play. I'm like, yeah. In my head, I'm like, I'm going first, so hopefully not. But it worked out. He scooped with my board being 4 Hades, so I'm not even gonna go into that much about it. But like, I pretty much saw everything. Again, I went Ursula into the unknown, his White Rose for the singer, and then he played a Dumbo, and then I went Elsa. So there's a world where having the Ursula could help because I saved it for the evasive. Because if he has a strength or cannons or something to out the Elsa, then it's harder to out Dumbo later. So it worked out. I ended up facing a Burple at the end of the mirror, but I will say that this is probably the proudest I've been of myself in a tournament. And I think the reason saying that is because not obviously I topped out 32, which you guys don't know. You guys seen this podcast and don't follow any socials, guys. I topped 32. It was the first time that I think I'm like, damn, I played really, really clean. I don't even think I played this clean in Vegas, in Seattle, in any other tournament. I'm like, I think I played really clean. I think I made one misplay the whole 12 rounds because I was really trying to be critical and counting my misplays and counting. And I think I made one misplay out of 12 rounds. And I ended up losing because of that misplay, which kind of leads me to tell you, like, you have to play so cleanly. I ended up losing in one of the Blue Steel games and went to game 3 because of it. But yeah, My losses was Amber Steel Aggro and Purple Steel. And then I go face Monica. 2 people from SoCal make top 32. We get excited. We get to be on stream just to find out that we only are the backup stream and they only show our game 3. So that kind of sucked. I don't even think they got to show the full game. What sucks too, I'm a big fan of The Office, guys. I said if she high rolls me or she does some crazy play, I'm gonna look at the camera the way Jim does it. I'm gonna have the most straight face. Like, I don't know, I'm gonna do a face to the camera, letting know that I just got high rolled. And it happened in game 2, and it didn't show it on stream, and I'm so bummed out because I didn't think to do it in game 3. But yeah, game 3 was still really interesting. I don't know if you guys get to check that out, but I made top 32. You guys can see them right there. The Simba, like the Elsa. I'm a caveman, so I'm recording on my phone, so you probably can't see good. But yeah, that was my run, and I get to go to Continental. So technically, there's more pricing, right, Caesar? I think you got pricing just for going to Continentals, right?
Yeah, you got I got the Baymax sleeves, and then I got the invited to the ball.
So technically, there's more pricing with it. I just have to wait. Now, this might lead us to the next topic. Well, I don't know if you guys are gonna say anything about anything, but the pricing structure. I think the way they saw it is there's more rounds, so we don't have the tournament longer. Let's just treat round 12 like the top 64. The reason I say that is because if you bubbled and if you went X3 but high X3, you still got a Simba. So it's like you lost your top 64 match. I started realizing that because now you don't get nothing, you get your Simba. But does that make it fair that if you go 10-2, you don't have a chance to win the tournament? No, that still sucks. So we'll go into that later. But yeah, that was my run, guys. Shout out to you, Monica from Lorcana Duo. Tools from SoCal made it. This was the first time I genuinely did not feel one drop of sadness about losing. I really didn't. Weirdly enough, I was super happy for you, and then I went 6-0 run to even be there, so I was already happy regardless what happened. But I'm really happy that you got to go in top 16 and also have the mat that it's probably better in your hands than mine, honestly. So
Yeah, yeah, I don't know. For some reason, even though I despise this set was like the first time that every time I lost, I was like, even like in Denver, like I feel like I threw my weight at top 2, and I just laughed about it. I'm like, all right, like it is what it is. But I don't know what it is about the set. But I guess let's talk about a little bit about the bad. And we'll just kind of breeze through it. It's kind of stuff that is known, right? Our pH sucks. It blows. I feel like it costed us to end day 1. Well, if you played all rounds, I didn't. I went back to the Airbnb and I slept. But it costed day 1 to finish, like, I don't know what time did you finish, Hector, but I'm assuming like 11, right? 11 p.m. probably. So we started at 9:30, I think it was, or 8:30, and they didn't get back till 11. So almost a 14-hour tournament when they did 8 rounds on day 1. So you talk about 8 rounds, right? They're max an hour, not even. They're 50 minutes around, and we somehow that should have been 8 hours. We should have been done, I say at latest 7 p.m. How the heck did we end up at 11 p.m.? Like, there was 30-40 minutes after every round, basically. And then at the beginning of every round, since everyone's refreshing to look at their pairings, which is not, you can't even say that it's still overload because Melee got it down. Melee was starting to handle it. Like, there was hardly any crashes by the end of like the DLCs. Like, every round at the beginning, it crashed. So you literally had to go to the paper pairings. And for me, it sucked because before I started taking these L's, I was like at the top table. So I had to freaking walk to the opposite side of the venue because my last name was A, and then run back. Like, I'm like, dude, what the hell? So that sucked. Also, the lines were abysmal. Like, to get tickets, to get your prize card, like, it was terrible. Like, Donald, I think it was Sunday. Yeah, Sunday. He like dropped out of the Infinity event because he was gonna leave like at 8 p.m. and the line looked like, I don't know, it was a freaking long line. It was crazy. I feel like even for check-in, like, I don't want to bash pastimes, but I feel like even for check-in, like, not one time for the PPG check-in, I feel like the line was that long. Don't get me wrong, it went by pretty. It didn't take that long, but feel like even in the one that we did see long, which was in Seattle, I think it was. Um, it still wasn't that long. I think it was like we probably waited like 50 minutes. This one we waited like 30, 40 minutes, I feel like. Um, so the lines were terrible. Um, the um, side events is a good thing. Like, good and bad, right? Because the pricing kind of sucks in the main event. Like, unless you top. Like, the fact that, well, we'll talk about the X2, in my opinion, too. Like, the X2, I don't know if they need to make it just add one more round. I don't know if that fixes it. But going X2 and bubbling, like, sucks cheeks. Like, saying you went X2 in a 12 round tournament and you didn't top is like a slap in the face. Um, I feel like they should, I don't know, like I said, I don't know what they have to do to fix it, but I feel like I'd be more okay that all the X2s make it in and one X3 makes it in than X2s bubbling out. Like, that to me is crazy. Like, I don't know what they have to do to fix it. I don't know. I feel like top 64 would be too much. I feel like at that point, like half of the X3s bubble now or something, which I think is more peace. But I don't know. That sucks. But the side events, like if you do really bad and you go find the side events, like you make good amount of money. Like for us, I think the only side events we did were the 3v3s. We won one each time, and it was still a good amount of tickets. If you won the whole thing, you would have gotten 4,800 tickets, I think, for each of you guys. So do the math. I don't know how much that is. Um, and then the tickets were selling for like I don't know. It was like I don't know what that the math on that one was, but I heard it was really good. Like if you went to go farm side events, like it was pretty good. So at least that's a good and bad thing, I guess, because you're spending more money to get into the side events, and that's what they're trying to get you to do. But at least there's value in it. But I think that's about all the good and the bad. Oh, the big bad thing too, and Hector brought it up, is the viewing area. Like that thing sucked. Like, um, I mean, I was the one playing in Seattle. I feel like Seattle and Vegas had the best setup. But like for Seattle, like I know after when I was doing all my Top Cut matches, like you guys were right there at the big like projector whatever watching it, and even like I was watching my opponents like or like the other top after I finished, I'd sit down and watch the games right there too, and that was amazing. I was laughing because I don't know who was there. I think we're all sitting at the table, but I said the fact that they have that little stream set up on that little TV and it's frozen is crazy. Like they didn't even attempt to fix it. They just left it frozen. And I think they eventually turned off the TV. I'm like, that is wild. But the TV was like, I don't even know, like a 32-inch screen TV or something like that. Like it's insane. I'm like, what the heck is this? But that was also a
Dude,
really bad thing about it.
dude, I never even saw that TV on. Like, I passed by it. I didn't even know it was plugged in. Like, I swear, all the time I saw it just on a black screen. I was like, oh,
I think it was
we're
frozen from round one. I think it was DKP's round one on stream, and it was just frozen on there. And we're like already on round three. I'm like, this is crazy.
isn't it was his Enchanted. That's why. That's why he got. That's why he got the proxies. It messed up the stream. No, but yeah, like you were saying, the definitely the side events. If you farm those, you definitely get your money's worth. Because yeah, like if we were to give like a dollar amount, I think per thousand tickets it was like 25, like $25 per thousand tickets or so. So yeah, um, but yeah, aside from that, it was pretty upsetting that there wasn't a stream. Um, like we didn't really have much else to do, and then I, it would have been nice to see like Hector on the stream, considering he actually got to do a feature match, although it was just game three, but it is what it is. Um, but yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
Hector, I know you got some stuff to say.
yeah. I don't mean to cut off right there too, but it's not even for the stream too, because what you guys saw in Seattle, some of that didn't even go on the actual stream. Like I believe you guys saw all my games right in Seattle, because on stream, if you go back to the Twitch stream, it's only my third game, but I think you guys were able to see all my games on that. So the stream that they were showing at the venue was showing more than what the actual stream even saw. So like that's a cool piece of it too. But like you said, like Hector was on it, we might have been able to see his one and two. Instead, we're trying to watch from like far, seeing these little cards on play, trying to look over his shoulder. Like it just sucks. So I mean, yeah, like them missing that is like a big miss, I think, in my opinion. Like I think PBG upped their game a lot, like doing that in Vegas and in because they even had it in Fort Worth, because you remember we were watching Dre, but they're on like two little TVs, so they stepped their game up a lot from that too. But yeah, that's something I hope they implement very 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 soon.
Yeah. And then yeah, definitely just fix RPH, please, like somehow. Because waiting, like for me, we waited like 45 minutes just for a round to start, and then I had a deck check. So I waited another like 20 minutes. I was like, dude, I've been trying to just get a game in. I was done like 40, like an hour before the round had officially started. So I'm just like, I'm just trying to get this done with. Um, but yeah, I mean, RPA is just a huge issue, and I feel like it's been an issue for the longest time. Because even at set champs, like stuff wasn't loading. I would always have to go ask like Phil, considering he was always the judge. Like, yeah, where am I sitting at? Because it just won't load anything. Um, but yeah, what you got, Hector?
I was gonna say Eddie, but I don't think this part Eddie can't say much about it, right? So um Eddie can just listen and have his input about it and what he expects maybe he goes to Virginia, like hopefully it's not like that, right? Um yeah, so the play hub kind of sucks, right? I miss melee. That's just kind of how it goes. Um Pastimes kind of sucked a little bit. I miss PPG, the way they handle DLCs. So they kind of understood, like, I think that they listen to the people because I think it goes with them about like the whole projectors and where they put the projection screens and how many seconds it go beforehand and all that little stuff, the seats, the viewing area. Um, yeah, that's what I loved about YCS is back in Yu-Gi-Oh! Like you just seeing like the top tables and seeing them and like seeing play and hearing the when there's a good play, like oh that's so cool. Like someone top deck, be prepared, a whole new role, everything on stream, but on the live venue, and it's like you just hear people go crazy. Like that's what it's about, right? So I do miss I do, you know, like that would have been really cool. Like just thinking about it, like my top 32 match not gonna stream it. There was some plays that it could have been definitely it was definitely a good match, which sucks that one it didn't get casted on the regular, but it sucks that no one really got to watch it, even though 40, 60 people were there to watch it, like as in for both ends. So that kind of sucks, but um are we talking about the structure and of it all or everything kind of just
You can talk about whatever, like whatever you think is bad.
yeah. So going to paper pairings every round was also not it, but again, that's just talking about the play hub, and I was talking about the thing. Um, pricing, pricing. So this Mulan, I don't know if this Mulan right here, you guys got for the 3 wins, replaces the non-foil Rapunzel. That's fine. The Simba is what starts gets to mistaken because they're starting to treat this like the Let It Go. But if you get this, if you top 64. So this is the Cindy. And then the Elsa is the Rapunzel. That's getting more viewed like in between the Cindy and the Rapunzel. So what are we missing here? We're missing the Let It Go. They give us 10,000 tickets instead. That's $300 to $400 value. That's still $500 off. But then people start viewing this like a Let It Go. This drops to the Let It Go value. This drops possibly to the Cindy value. I don't know. It's also so she might actually hold pretty good pricing, but everything starts going off. So I don't know who's in charge of that specific structure, but I also missed that as well. I think it should have been if you day two'd, you get whatever the card. Not the 2,000, 10,000 tickets or whatever, but whatever the new card would be. The Mulan could have been for making day two. Then the Mulan would have been worth more. And then you know who gets the 3 wins? This Mulan non-foil or the Simba non-foil? Probably the Simba, right? Or what's equivalent, like the Elsa non-foil. Could have just done it that way. So the pricing structure was not cool. Also, 10-2, and some people did not make Top Cut. Guys, after the results were done, Eddie, you didn't get to see this. They can actually let you know. I could not. I was 10-2, and I was stressing, and I was like literally just sad because I'm thinking I'm about to bubble. I was trying to do the math, and it looked like, and I'm 10-2. I just won 6 in a row. I'm 4-2. I won 6 in a row, and I'm over here stressing and almost sad. I had told Karan, dude, if I don't top, I'm not gonna be okay. like I'm not gonna be okay, and you might not see me for a month or two. I'm not gonna be playing Lorcana, like because that's not cool. Like I mentally will not be able to get over it. And I don't think that's bad of me. Like, is that fair? Am I tripping here? Like, that's crazy. Like, I'd rather go X4. Like, I'd just rather not even put myself in that position if I'm gonna
Yeah.
bubble like that. Like,
I mean, you guys hear me say it all the time. I mean, uh, you guys can really tell me if I'm just being a little b word, but I feel like I'm a very unlucky person. So like I literally said like, because you know how I am. Like, I lost that X2, and honestly I was glad I went X3 at that point. I am glad and I'm not glad because my competitive nature. Like I just hate that I had that bad of a record at a DLC. Um, but I am glad because I know, and I said it. I said it right there on the table. I said, "Watch, I'm gonna win out, and I'm gonna bubble," and that would have also like I get where you're coming from because if I would have done that, I would have been sick to my stomach. I would have been upset. I kind of bounced back from things right away, so I probably wouldn't have like stopped playing. I probably would have freaking got home that night and played Lorcanito or whatever. But like, but like I also would have been like really upset, and not really at the game, but more at like pastimes or like the tournament structure. Like how do they I don't know, like how do they even allow that to happen? Like it's crazy. Like I said, I don't know if one more round would fix that, or I mean, I don't know. I'm not. I just started playing these tournaments, just started playing the card game, so I don't know. But
top
go ahead.
top 64 playout fixes that.
Yeah, I mean that's a
Like, like just, it's one more round. Like, how about when you guys get it together and you guys don't have to wait in between round 30 minutes every time?
yeah.
Guess what? You can fit that round in like nothing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I get it. Like, right? Like Magic is only really top 8, and Yu-Gi-Oh. So I guess like everyone says that Lorcana is so soft, but unfortunately that's how they treated us, right? Like first year it was top 64 playout. Like I think they should have just remained that top 64 playout, even if we went to best of three. Um, yeah,
Yeah.
I feel like it makes it more fun too, and like you said, it really is just one more round, and it makes a lot more people happy. Like I feel like as an X3, like at that point, like if you bubble out, it is what it. Like I feel like half of X3 bubbling out is peace, but 8 X2s bubbling out is like terrible. Like it feels so bad.
Bubbling
Yeah.
out of X3, like for the let's say it's top 64 player, and you bubble out at X3, at the end there's a world where you still blame yourself. X2, you'll never get like there's just no shot you could blame yourself.
Right.
Like Zan
Wasn't
went X2, he bubbled. Like
yeah,
we were talking about, like what do you want me to do? Like I don't know what you want me to do. Like I lost 2 games, I won 10. Oh, like
didn't he lose his first 2 rounds and then just go 10-0?
Yeah, he lost round 1 and 2, I believe. Yeah,
And that
That's
probably killed
crazy.
his tiebreakers because
yeah,
people he
100%.
lost to probably like dropped or something,
Yeah,
you know. And it's like, and I've seen that
but
happen
but
like
yeah,
in smaller tournaments, but like at that scale and at that level, yeah, you don't expect that honestly, because like, and I was just about to comment too, like with Hector, like you being X2 and being like on the bubble potentially, it's like it really just came down to your tiebreakers, right? Like you must have like 2-0'd maybe two more matches than the person next to you, or you might have beat someone who was like on a 2-0 tear and then you knocked them out, right? Like
does
those
it do you
little
guys know if
details
it do you know if
matter.
you guys get more points if you 2-0?
it doesn't get more points, but it gives you a better win percentage, so it matters.
Exactly. It does matter.
Yeah,
It
Okay,
does
because I
matter.
I think that's what got me. I just luckily I 2 a lot.
yeah,
I think that's literally what separated me there because Zam was actually higher seating than me, like higher placing, and he won his last one, and then I won my last one. But he ended up bowling. Like it was weird. So maybe it just came down to like literally my win percentage of like
yeah,
games. You know,
It had
yeah,
to. It had to. Yeah. And like I think you also taking down like good players at in day two. Like it came down to like those little differences for
yeah,
you to I think make it.
yeah.
Because because like I've seen it in the smaller scale, but at that scale, it's like it matters even more because
Do you
yeah,
know if
like
they
you
that's
know
the
also?
what's
way
crazy too?
that's the way it
Bubbling
is.
at X2 and not getting your national invite when
Yeah,
you're right there. That's the worst too. Like when are you gonna get a chance like that? 2 more tries, and then if you get in,
And
bro.
there's only 3 DLCs. You only get like 3 chances. Is even less than last time, right? Like
Yeah,
I'm
this is
watching.
crazy.
Like I'm
yeah,
watching this from the outside, and I'm like thinking, man, this is harder to do than last set.
yeah,
I have less chances and less like help from Ravensburg,
yeah.
because
I guess.
and less support with pricing.
Yeah.
So cool,
I guess
you
I
know.
guess I guess it could be next week's topic if you guys want to comment and so we can talk about it. But Goons asked me a great question, and I feel like it was a perfect. I don't know how many people he asked, but I'm glad he asked me because I've always been like super. Hector has too, but I've always been super honest about it. He asked me. He said, "What do you think? Do you miss 2 game format, or are you fine with the best of 3?" And I gave him my honest answer. I said, "Look, I never had a problem with the 2 game format. I think I had a really good like pluses about it. I said, but I also told him, I said, I don't think it's the best of 3. I think it's this set. I think it's this format that is making it feel so much worse. That the skill, I'll dumb it down like however it's in my head, but like the skill required to do good in this format is lower, a lot lower than we've had in other formats. Um, so because he said, he's like, dude, I kind of missed the 2 game format. He's like, I feel like it felt easier. I'm like, that's peace. I mean, yes and no, but yeah. Well, we can talk about that in next week's podcast or something. But yeah, but yeah. I mean, I feel like that's the main bad thing, the X2 thing. So, we'll see. We'll see what they do. We'll see if they hear, let's if they hear the complaints. If they switch to top 64 playout, that'd be cool. Like I said, I mean, like Hector said, dude, you could fit that extra round on day one if we didn't finish at 11 p.m. and we finished at 7 p.m. like we should have. Like, it's crazy. And then you could also just push day 2 earlier because you guys started at what, 10, right?
You know what I just realized? There's way less. The same amount of rounds for day 2. Dude, we were eating how late? It was midnight, and they finished finals at midnight.
Yeah, they did. They finished finals at midnight. Yeah, but you gotta
That's
keep in mind. You gotta keep in
ridiculous.
mind that there are less. There are less. Sorry, the rounds are longer on top 32 because you have 110 hours technically. So players tend to play it slower, and then finals is best of 5.
There was more rounds. There were more rounds. There's also more rounds, so it's technically
Is there?
5, and then yeah,
I thought it was the
that's
same.
what. No,
32,
because in Top Cut
16,
there's 5.
8. Oh yeah, there's 5 in Top Cut. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So
Yeah,
it's one more
and the
round.
best of 5. So yeah,
Yeah,
it's like 2 more rounds.
yeah, it's
So it's
best
like
of
they
5.
played 10 rounds per
Yeah.
se.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, it's fine.
And you guys
That's
also
fine.
started later, which I don't get why. I mean, it's cool. You get to rest, right? But we also shouldn't be finishing at 11 p.m. on day 1, so you should have enough time to rest. So it's crazy. Yeah, but we'll go over that. You guys still want to talk about the legendaries? We're like an hour into the pod.
No, I feel like you say that one for the next one. That's
For
fine.
sure, for sure. So, anyone else has any more comments before we
Being
go into our
Eddie.
exits?
I mean, yeah. I just wanted to say congratulations to Hector. Like give you your well earned respect. Like for me, like I know all of us have these goals, and we all have kind of individual goals, and just really impressed. And I know how hard it is now. Hearing how you guys explain how hard it is and how crazy the system is. So just want to say I think you're pushing. You did it, and yeah, man, really happy for you, and really I think it's great for all of us to see one of us get there, and yeah, man. Looking forward to everything we do next, and looking forward to set 10 now. Set 9 was interesting. Like I did really good. It's my first time I got 3 set champs. I really liked the set. I really did. I thought it was one of my favorite sets. So definitely a different side of the spectrum compared to Caesar, but I yeah, I'm looking forward to everything we do next, and can't wait for the lineup we have rest of the year.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah, but you're both definitely on the spectrum.
uh, but what's it
For
called?
sure.
One cool thing about it is that one of our, well, you, but someone from the team got the invite at the first DLC versus I got it at the end. So it's kind of like, I don't know how to explain it, but like I said, it'd be really cool if, because I was in Nats and it sucked. Like, I mean, you guys know me, I'm more to myself. So I was in Nats and it kind of sucked that I was in that room alone. So hopefully, one more teammates get in, like at least, half of TCG gets in, and, we're in that Continentals together. It makes it so much better. So
or even someone from the cookout.
yeah, or even someone
I'll
from
be
the
just
cookout.
as happy
Yeah. So,
filling that room.
that,
That'd be really cool.
yeah. So my goal, obviously, like getting into the Mickey would be cool, but it's either winning or DLC, or for sure, like I'd be upset at myself if I don't make it into Continentals again. So that's like my main goal. Like I don't even care if I lose my top 32, I'm gonna be happy if I make continentals again. To be like I made it to 2 continentals back to back, I feel like is a pretty big achievement. So hopefully I get it. But congrats to
Yeah,
Hector. I feel like that's what I'm most happy for you, because I know you wanted. I mean, we all right wanted it last set, so you got it this set. So proud of you for that. So and well deserved. I mean, I feel like you should have gotten it last set too. So we'll see how it goes.
yeah, dude. Congrats. I know, like we all know, we've seen you've been working hard for this. I know seen you grinding every week. Um, whether it's on the Lorcana or literally at just like any tournament, you're always just trying to lock in and make sure you get the best reps in instead of going to the easy set champs,
Yeah, yeah.
quote unquote.
Yeah,
But
I'm just sad that it ended at top 32. I mean, honestly, I think a majority of us in the team and everyone at the BNB felt like if you just dodged, the bad matchups, I really feel like you could have taken the whole thing down. Like I really feel like you would have won.
Yeah, I wanted to put some purple steel. I wanted some blurple in the top cup, but I feel like it was gonna happen because in the last 6-0 run, no Amber Steel aggro, no dogs, right?
Yeah,
It's only fair. It's only
yeah,
fair. I think what sucked more was that I was ready for those decks. It just not to be on the draw.
yeah, yeah. Yeah. There's not much you
Not
can
to
do.
be on the
It is
draw.
what it is. Hey,
I
and
thought,
you took a game, so that is what it is.
yeah, yeah. Um, yeah. Thank you guys so much for all the congratulations for always being there. I'm sure if I ever need help, advice, and testing or anything, you guys are all there. From day one, when we started the cookout, so it's awesome. Seeing when Cesar did last year, and I'm like, I kind of want to top that and be just as that. Obviously, I didn't get to the Mickey part, but I always told myself the one goal that I wanted to have. Um, I would love a golden Mickey, but everyone has different goals. I always told myself that I would rather be someone that consistently tops, and I'm gonna try to keep fighting for that. So hopefully, first of all, hopefully I get in. That's already something that needs to be fixed because I shouldn't be. We shouldn't be hoping to get into these events and we're willing to pay and fly to these things. But to hopefully do that as my main goal, to be someone that consistently tops. But yeah, another thing you said that you guys notice how much I grind or whatever. My gut has also noticed how much I've been grinding lately in Lorcana, so I gotta get back to it legit, bro. I'm like, I need to take a little break. I did it there because man, it was getting rough, and that's when I could tell when I've been grinding a lot of Lorcanas. My gut. Promise you guys, I do it for the cookout and the camera. I don't always eat that bad. Well, I don't know. Anyway, doesn't matter. But I'm happy. Thank you guys for everything, and then yeah, I can't wait to share that continental room with hopefully one of you guys, if not more than right, but
Hell yeah, yeah,
it's doable. Hopefully they fix. Also, hopefully they fix it because maybe you do the top 64 next time. Like in Atlanta, they fix some stuff, right? Or so they fix certain numbers after Atlanta. So there's a world where pastime listens, and then some stuff gets fixed, and it is a little bit easier for Richmond.
yeah,
You know. So
yeah.
I hope that.
I just don't see that continental invite changing. They're pretty
Oh,
strict on
that's too
it.
bad.
Yeah, they're pretty strict on it at first DLC. It just sucks that there's only 3, right? Like you only get 3 chances to get there, and it's still really tough, right? That making that 1.8% conversion, to get it, it's really hard. But I just hope that the formats get more skill required than more just kind of like luck dependent, because that's when it feels really bad, right? Like there's only 3 shots, and say 2 of the shots, and not to mention that the last one's infinity, so we don't even know how that's gonna go. So basically, we have one more shot of like concrete of what we know, right? So yeah, I just hope this next format, which is set 10, I hope it's a lot more skill intensive and skill required, and I feel like at that point, if we don't top, we can only be mad at ourselves, right? Like if it's more skill required and we still just get skill gap, then it is what it is, and we're not meant to be there. So
If they don't fix the top 64 thing and you go X2, you can't really blame yourself.
yeah, that too. But
But yeah,
yeah,
Caesar,
but
Caesar, I can guarantee set 10's gonna be more skill
no,
capped.
I
I
hundred
already know.
percent, I agree
Yeah,
too. I'm
yeah.
hopeful for
I
for
hated
set
this
10.
format until the end, dude. Because once I you got down Blurple, I don't know how Caesar, but once you got down Blurple down to a T, that deck was broken, dude.
Yeah, I
Against
mean,
it felt like even in your bad matchup, you're not that unfavored. I'm like, that's crazy.
yeah.
But yeah,
Don't get me wrong. Like I still hated the format, but I don't know. It's kind of sounds weird, but I still hated the format, but I I still enjoyed it. Like I'm not gonna say the it's still my absolute most hated set, but um,
It's still Lorcana
yeah,
and it's still
yeah,
the
it's
game
still
you
like
love.
kind of like I still love
Yeah.
the game. Like I'm glad I found a deck because if I would have had to force myself to play a deck I hated, that would have felt even worse. I feel like Hector said, the fact that I found Blood Bowl and like found the consistency in it and like enjoyed playing it, um, helped out a lot too. Because if I had to play like if I couldn't find a deck I didn't like at all, like I for sure would have just like just crashed out. I would have crashed out. So yeah, let's move forward with exiting out. So I don't have the picture here, so hopefully Danny implements all the pictures that we took as an Airbnb and as a team on the screen when we're talking about it, and hopefully he puts the top choice multi-case tourney. It is the I
It's
should
the
look at
eighth.
the flyer. It's the 8th. I believe
Yeah, it's
they're
on
gonna
Saturday.
yeah, I believe they're gonna have a sealed event. If you guys want to go on the 6th, I believe, on at the night and at like almost midnight or a little bit before midnight, they're gonna have a sealed event, and then I believe they're gonna make product available that Friday, and then they're gonna have a multi-case tournament on the 8th, depending on I think 6 packs for every person that registers. So if we get 50, 60 people, I mean it can be a pretty big good pricing turnout for opening weekend. It could be a good way for you to get more product, to get more cards for your other upcoming tournaments. But I will be there. I know some of you guys might not because I think Carlos is doing something for his birthday that weekend, so that'll be cool. Um,
Yeah.
Other than that, we have that tournament in
Uh,
Fontana. Is it Anaheim? Where's it at? You guys know what I'm talking
huh?
Oh,
about?
the LA Fairplex. I
Yeah,
think it's
the
November 16,
let me see. Let me look it up
right?
real quick. So
Oh,
give me
is it the one
No,
from the
18.
Gauntlet, like the
oh
onboard
yeah, the
gaming one? Or?
onboard gauntlet. That one is
Yeah,
on
it's
November
in
15th.
Pomona.
Um,
Yep.
Okay.
I was thinking about
Is
going,
it?
but I'm not gonna go. That's my birthday weekend, so I will miss that one. Um,
Mm.
and then I believe we're all gonna be at SCG Vegas, which is the 23rd, I
20,
believe.
Maybe
22nd.
I'll try.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's when you'll see
Like
me next, guys.
it's like 21st through 23rd or something, I think.
22nd. And
I should
then
Yeah.
mention though, yeah. Oh, just real quick, like on the same weekend as the Pomona, I know Collectors Expo is doing like another anime 5K, but this time in Dallas.
yeah,
So I just want to put the word out. It's that November 15 weekend, like the
JDZ's
week
casting.
before Vegas.
Yeah.
Yeah, JDZ's gonna be there again. So
And then
that's
I'm
cool.
already deciding not to go there. I don't know about you guys. I need a break for a whole month of traveling at least. December is PPG Orlando, I believe. I'm not gonna go that. So, but just want to put it out there for anyone that is gonna or planning to play big tournaments. So
I would love to go depending what I'm doing in December. Adam's thinking about it, so there's a world where if it's a good format and I'm doing good, I would love to visit Orlando. I never really like been there. I've been to Florida, but I never really been there where I got to enjoy it. So see it as in I get to enjoy Orlando. Wow, using this as an excuse to possibly go there, depending. That's only I would only like I said I would only ask ever my sponsor if I feel confident or good in the format. If I don't feel like I can make it, then I'm just not gonna do it. So,
Yeah. And then DLC tickets on sale on November
oh yeah,
10th.
very important to mention since we have to fight for our lives for these tickets. November 10th.
Yeah.
listen, Ed,
Let me pull it up real quick. I
Come
think it's
I think
on.
it's
on,
like
Eventbrite.
put your alarm right now at
Yes.
that date, at the time. Let's
I
No,
think
the
it's like
thing
10
is,
a.m.
I'm gonna be
10 a.m. Pacific
in
time.
Oh, you're
Austria.
gonna be in Europe.
I'm gonna be in
Yeah,
Austria on the 10th. Yeah. I mean, this will
Uh,
be yeah. So
he's gonna
that's
be in
gonna be
DLC
interesting.
Austria, guys.
I'm getting ready for Belgium in March. Gotta start testing.
There you go. I don't know
Work
why
on
you
my
just didn't get yourself a ticket to that. Honestly, I heard it's pretty easy to get tickets through Fanfinity. So
I might do that if I have to because
you should
Eventbrite's
try
not
it.
working out
yeah,
You
you
for
should
should
me.
try
definitely
it.
try it.
Yeah.
Eddie naturally goes to Europe like it's nothing. I'm surprised that he actually hasn't tried to get to the Ghana DLC things.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
'cause
heard
he's
Fanfinity is super easy to get a ticket. So I mean, I would try that if you're out there, dude. But for Richmond, we have it November 10th at 12 p.m. CT Central Time. Set your alarms. I know I usually do. People always complain like, how do people always get their tickets? Like I prep for this thing. Like as soon as I know the date, I put an alarm. I get on an hour early.
Yeah.
I'll be on my phone. Like I'm not too extra where like I have my phone, my laptop. I feel like that makes it worse. I honestly do. Like I just have my phone and I refresh once, wait like 2 minutes, refresh again, wait like another 2 minutes. Because I notice when you're like constantly just refreshing, that's when you don't get the ticket. So
Eddie
I
taking
hope
notes over
I hope my strats work because since I feel like everyone that I went for I was able to get. So hopefully it doesn't end the run here. Hopefully I don't get too old by Eventbrite finally. So
there. Yeah.
we'll see. But that's
Also, they like doubled the freaking tickets for Europe and
oh
not
yeah, and
NA.
not here. Yeah, that's another bad. Why the hell isn't Fanfinity 4,000 players and we're still 2,000? Like that is crazy to me. Hey,
Yeah,
imagine the X2 bubbles there. Half X2 is bubble out.
that'd be insane, dude.
Oh,
That'd
that
be
is
rough.
true. If they keep the same structure like that, like 12 rounds like this, it's gonna be raw. That's actually hard. There's a world that's gonna be way more X.
How are
There's a
they?
world you call X11 and don't
X1,
not just
yeah,
kidding.
and
I
don't
don't
make
know.
it. Imagine that'd be
Watch them
crazy.
do 3 days. They'll probably have to do 3 days. We'll see. We'll
No,
see how
no
they figure
shot.
that out.
No,
I
no,
think
they
they
have
literally have
to.
to do 12 rounds day one, and then they have to do two more rounds day two, which is 14 rounds probably.
If they're doing top 32, yeah. If not, they have to do like top 64. If not,
And that's
yeah,
what it is. Yeah.
yeah,
But
Make
I
sure you guys go
think
to the TCG one, guys. For make sure you guys go to the TCG one because it does upscale. For like it's a good time to explain the flyer here in the platform. It does say for every player 6 packs go into the card price pool. So
yeah.
starts adding up pretty easily. Start counting 40, 50, 60 players, multiply that by six. Starts adding up pretty damn good, pretty fast. So make sure you guys go, tell your friends. I'm sure they're gonna have side events too. I'm gonna try to talk to Dio. There's a world that people like sealed opening weekend. So the people that might want to go for sealed, I'm gonna try to talk to them to like 8-man pods or like do certain number of pods where they do sealed or draft or something.
and
Maybe
if it
that'll be
becomes
yeah.
and if it becomes big enough, I was gonna say if it becomes big enough, I mean for the people that have been there, we'll probably have a stream. I mean if we have enough players, we might do the bigger room, and we'll more than likely have a stream. So that's always cool, right? Being opening weekend, being on stream, people rip our deck list, people copy our base, so that's always cool. So
And we get 60, 80, 100 people, guys. They are not shy to do 9 cases, 8 cases. Like I promise you, whatever they all usually end up negating a little bit because they want it to be really worth it for
yeah,
the
they
players.
want to make it worth
Yeah.
it for the community. So I think it's a
You should.
great way. And finally, hopefully, because I don't think I haven't seen CCS or well, we heard what happened with other one, but I haven't heard anyone announce it. So this might be the first time where well, this is gonna be the second time where West Coast. Well, last time it was almost the same day. So this might be the first time where West Coast creates the meta, at least the first week meta. So if we make this big enough, literally West Coast will create the first week meta, which is pretty cool
That
in my
was cool
opinion.
about Anaheim, right? Seeing the top tables and oh, so that's gonna be a deck. Oh, so that's gonna be the way that plays that deck. But I remember people were looking at us like, oh, so Blue Steel Allies might be an actual thing. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like
we
it's
made
kind of
we
cool.
made a couple people buy some scars. So 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 yeah.
Yeah, sorry about
Other
that. Hey, Frank Carlson, at least if you have your one copy,
yeah,
you
you're
get
one
to play
copy.
the
You're
Frank
one. You're one of.
Carlson one of card. There you
Um,
You
go.
just need one. Just need one.
but other than that, next week we'll talk about set 10. If you guys want to see us review the cards, drop it down in the comments. Or if you guys want to see some deck ideas already and just skip the cards, then drop that in the comments. Because we're already kind of behind, anyways, right? Like we should have been talking about the cards like last week, but we've been slacking it. So um, let us know. Want to
Next
talk about the
video is gonna
cards?
be full on leak, all the cards.
Yeah.
By the way, before you say the goodbye everything, thank you everyone that reached out to my Instagram and all the congratulations you guys have been giving to me. I appreciate it so much. All the love and support. I truly appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, comment cards, full card review. Well, not full, but the good ones, or set 10 deck list next week. Comment down below. Let us know what you guys want to see. Other than that, that's all I got. You guys got any closing thoughts? Hector already gave his. Carlos, Eddie.
I'm all good.
I mean, for me, for happy birthday, Carlos, this weekend. I wish I could, or next weekend. I wish I could be there next weekend.
Yeah,
Like for
thanks.
me, it's probably yeah, that's the most important thing. And then for me, it's probably the last time you guys see me for a while. I'm going on a mini vacay, like 3 weeks, to Europe.
Mini? That's mini.
It's, yeah, that's isn't that a mini? That's
This
probably
DLC was a mini vacation.
Yeah, literally.
That's 4 nights.
I was gone for so long.
Yeah, I'm gonna be gone for a while then. So you guys won't see me. If you guys know any good coffee shops or fun things to do in Graz,
I
let me know.
no idea.
He's
Literally
talking to
zero.
our fans.
Oh, my bad, my bad.
worldwide to the worldwide.
Oh, I sorry guys, I forgot to mention. I was actually surprised. I think I got like 2 or 3 people tell me like, "Hey, thank you guys for the podcast. Like, it's really nice to hear you guys." And I asked where they were from, and they were not from Cali. So that was pretty cool. So shout out to everyone that watches and supports us. I know we slack it sometimes. We try our best. We all have our lives.
There was 2 things surprising to Cesar. Like, oh, you guys are from Cali? And the second one was like, oh, you recognize
Oh
me
yeah,
and
you
know who I
recognize
am?
me and not anyone else. That's always surprising.
And then the
to me.
other one is, oh, you watched a podcast?
Oh yeah, you watched
You
the
actually
whole
listen to this?
You actually
What?
did, yeah. So shout out to everyone that watches it. We appreciate it. We do love doing it. It's just literally like
Yeah.
it's really hard for we personally don't like doing like 2 or 3 man pods. Like we like the 4. I think 4 is like the perfect common or like the perfect number for us. And it's really hard to get 4 of us on sometimes. So we'll try making it more consistent. Like if anything at minimum, I personally don't want to do 2. I think 3 minimum. 4 I feel like is the perfect. So but really do appreciate you guys watching and saying what's up. So that's all we got. Yeah, comment down below what you guys want to see next. Hit the like, subscribe button. Keep on cooking, keep on questing. Peace.
Happy Halloween.